Yeah. And like, there is a part of me that's like in a vacuum with like a different political landscape.
Yeah.
I could conceive of a world in which it's like, let's collaborate fully with AI. Let's see what
Yes.
it can do and what it can't do. Let's take care of like human needs and then focus on that. I know we do not live in that world. So it is an interesting idea. And this idea of like coaches needing to get better to think, I think in my mind, like what getting better means is like being radically present
Yes.
with the clients, like the rote questions that we learned in training.
Flossing your teeth isn't going to fly.
Brushing your teeth isn't gonna fly. Oh my God.
Can't get
Only
away with
because
that
of
shit
AI,
anymore.
though. 10 years ago, totally fine.
Hmm. Yeah, we just had to change our thoughts about it as Clay.
Right. Oh my God.
But I mean, the thing I can kind of compare it to is like when we were young, I remember I started working in the music industry, and this was like kind of just like post the Napster era where people were like
Hmm.
uploading music illegally to whatever, to each other. And then like YouTube came on the scene and people were posting on YouTube and then getting famous. And the music industry was really rocked by that because they were like, it's not legitimate if you don't have a record deal. It's not legitimate if we as the very few don't own your pathway to success.
Mm.
Pay your dues through us. And something like there's a lot of scary things about AI. I think there's a lot of unethical things about AI, but I think it is also a way for someone who doesn't have 40 hours a week to invest in a new business to be able to start a business without $100,000 or like a some investor. They can
Hmm.
actually bootstrap this in a way that doesn't. I'm always thinking about like the personal impact, and like you don't have to now work 8 hours a day to build something and struggle and go bankrupt in the way that a lot of people I know did even just like 5 years ago.
Right.
When you can get 3 hours back because you can now write a blog post based on your past work in 5 minutes and then edit and then add in your ideas and make sure the tone is right, like you become a kind of a manager of your business rather than the doer, the visionary, uh, the oversight. Like there's just so many hats that entrepreneurs wear. And I get really excited thinking someone could go take a nap. Someone could go for a walk instead of spend more time in the chair. So I
Yeah.
think there is that element of like it could become good for the world and it could become good for humans if we're thoughtful about how we use it.
Hmm. The Luddite in me was so at war with myself when you were saying that because I was like, yes, naps,
Yeah.
yes, walks. But I was also like feeling a sense of panic and overwhelm at just like a barrage of content that's been AI generated and like who is reading that? And like, if we have this like ease of outpouring all this content with way less thought, and I don't even know if I believe this, but I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
Um, are we flooding? Like, are people like people are already so flooded with information? Is that
Yeah.
I don't know? Is something lost in that?
I think it's a problem. I think it's a problem. And I think that
Yeah.
it's a problem that like 2 years ago, we were flooded with, or 4 years ago, we were flooded with so much information. Um, but it was always people that had to be pumping that out to like feed
Right.
the algorithm. And now I
Right.
kind of feel like I'm just like, okay, well, if the algorithm needs me to post every day, I'm going to post my original content, but I'm not
Hmm.
going to sit there pouring over every word.
Mm.
I don't want to give
Yeah.
it crap, but I want to give it my ideas. And I think that it's so hard to maybe it isn't for other people. I shouldn't speak for other people. I find it very hard to manually restate my old information or things I've written. Like when I finish a book and it's being published, I'm like, that's done. I'm on to the new ideas. I don't want to go back and be like, oh, let's find a quote from page 27. I'm like, ugh, let the bot do that.
Yeah. It's almost like I'm noticing a shift in how I'm thinking just in this conversation. Like, I think at the beginning of this conversation, I viewed content as a form of personal connection because as a writer and as like an artist and a creator, I feel myself in the things that I create. I feel a sense of connection with the people who read it, even if they're just in my head, even if I'm just imagining them.
It's the only way we get it done.
It's almost like a shift from that to the content is the content. And some people can use AI to generate the content and so they can free themselves up to find other ways to personally connect. At least that's how I understand like your use of AI.
That's exactly how I think about it. I would never have been able to articulate it so nicely. But that's it. I mean,
maybe ChatGPT could have if you ran it through.
Yeah, maybe. And, you know, as an editor, it's not bad. I don't actually use ChatGPT a lot. I use a different program that holds my whole ecosystem, but it has all of my content and writing and work. And it's so nice to be able to, even when it gives me something, I can cite my own work so that if any, because this is another thing I've noticed, it doesn't seem to happen to men. And men, if you're listening and you've had this experience, I want to hear about it because I've only ever heard this from women, content creators or coaches, service providers, that they get a lot of shit for anything that could be AI. Any writing, anything. It's like, no, it's not real. If you didn't sit there and tippity type every single word, which I think is so wild. I'm like, oh, it doesn't count, even if it's our original thinking, but we used a program to help us say it in a way that could be received more easily. Just like, that's so interesting. My husband has never been read for any of that.
Interesting.
But people are like, oh, is that AI? Did you really write that? I'm like, yeah, did you really write your book? I'm like, yeah. If you want to see the tears, if you want to see the months and the pictures and the slouch, yeah, we really, we really came up with all of that and went through it. But that was so painful and so hard and it took so long and it was such an investment. If I were doing it again, I am doing it again. I'm doing it a little bit differently. And I'm making sure that my time is freed up by not trying to also be creative over here and start with a blank canvas every single day.
Yeah.
I'm letting the AI at least give me topic ideas. At least give me a rough draft. I want to talk about how static helps with going through static when you're in a tense situation with like an employee. Help me craft that. And it'll give me a good starting place to write from. Yeah.
Are there any aspects of that? It's very complicated. It's making me think, this conversation is making me think of The Good Place. Did you ever watch that? Of like, there's no moral absolutism. Like there's so many different angles and things to have in consideration. I think part of, if I'm honest, like, so there's some moral discomfort that I have with AI. And like, for me, I'm just kind of like, I don't really see a big need for it. So I'm just going to avoid it. But part of why I don't think I've integrated it, if I'm honest, like purely selfishly, is that I think I prefer writing to editing. And I prefer creating and like ideating to editing someone else's ideas.
Yes.
So, and I know that's not all AI is used for, but even in how you're talking about that, I'm like, would I actually want AI to write a rough draft of a blog post for me? maybe if I'm totally stuck or like don't have the time, but then I have to go through it and read it and edit it. And like, frankly, I would probably just prefer to write it.
Totally fair. Like, I think that that's like totally fair. And you're a creative person. I think it's helpful for people who maybe are not, where writing is not their thing.
Yeah, I totally see that. Yeah. And I also think like I'm a firm believer that everyone is, this sounds so cheesy, but everyone is creative in their own way. And
I
I think
agree.
there are different forms of creativity. Some people enjoy expressing themselves verbally, some people like they see numbers and they think of ways to put them together. So I am from a pure like remove all of the context, all of the concerns about the impact and the source of AI. I think it's actually really cool and exciting to envision a tool that enables people to maximize the time they spend on like their I don't love this term, but like I want to throw up a little bit when I say it, but their zone of genius.
Sure. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're the thing that lights them up. I think that's really exciting. And to be able to have support and sharing that with the world in a way that's not requiring them to be independently wealthy and have an entire team of humans at their disposal. Like that is exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Even I pushed this with someone the other day. I was like, okay, let's say, because we remember we talked like way back when, I think it was our first episode, we were talking about our potential like Oracle deck
Oh
project.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I came across someone who I have a friend actually who has a huge body of work. He's kind of an artist too, but like his images aren't so show stopping that they would make like a really great commercial Oracle deck. And so he
Mm-hmm.
works with an artist who uses AI to like co-create the image, which is, I mean, it sounds like it's much more involved than someone might think. Um, but they were like, oh, is that real? Is it still like really going to be spiritually moving for someone if the images are AI created? And I'm like, I can see how we could think that, but unless someone is willing to spend potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars to commission an artist, and then they have a great relationship with that artist, they like everything that that person does, they're willing to invest years of putting it together, that's not actually accessible for most
Mm-hmm.
business owners who just want to put something out in the world to help some people. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that there's like this push and pull. It's like of course I bought art last week. I love buying from artists, but if I could create something that was like visually appealing that I could control and work with and would still speak my message, I can't say for sure that I wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really love the AI art thing. Maybe it'll get
Yeah.
better. I still like a deck that's created by a human, even if it's like mixed media
Mm-hmm.
with some AI enhancements, does not bother me. But
Mm-hmm.
I can just see that it is yet another way that someone could break into an industry, could put their work out into the world without having to invest years and money that they don't have. Until we are in the world of Star Trek and we have universal basic income and
Yes,
replicators for
please.
our food.
Oh, I could do that.
That would be fine, right? Just like free, everybody has their own medicine and food just in a little computer. I think it's really hard for the average person to like live some of their dreams without a huge investment of time, money, and effort. And
Yeah.
it'll be interesting just to see in the next few years what this makes possible for people with a great idea, but without maybe all the resources to like take it as far as they could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And I think it raises the really powerful question of like, what are we trying to gain by outsourcing?
Yeah.
And why?
Such a good question. Yeah.
Which I think that's like, I know based on my position, it probably sounds like I have an agenda with that question, but I think it is valuable. I keep trying to remember. There's this like quote that I saw on Instagram. I think it might have been from a poem, and I'm like going to bastardize it,
That's
but
fine.
it was something. It was something like a professor and the students kept turning in AI essays,
Right.
and the professor was like, what are you actually like trying like? Okay, you save time, but like to what end? What are you freeing up
What is
time
that time
for?
getting invested in instead?
Right. Like it's like outsourcing learning and knowledge. And so I think there are no absolute like good or bad here. There are absolute good or bads here. But I think it's a valuable question to ask ourselves as we like dip our toes into this new tool that we have, that's not so new anymore, of like why are we doing this, and what is gained and what is lost.
Yes, so good. I love that. Yeah, because I mean, it sounds like I'm very like, ooh, yes, AI, rah, rah, rah. But at the same time, I'm the first person who, when I see people, it seems like it's mostly on LinkedIn, but when people, I don't know what people are doing, if they're creating agents to do this, or if they are just cutting and pasting someone's post in the AI and saying like, create a thoughtful response to this person's post.
Oh
And
boy.
it's just like a regurgitation or just some insipid, like dumb thing. And it's so clearly not a person.
Mm-hmm.
I get so offended. I get so mad when people DM me like the spammy shit.
Yeah.
Like, it drives me nuts because to your point, you're saving some time maybe by doing this, but you're telling me that whatever relationship you're trying to create with me is not even that important to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's already happened
Yeah.
to you. Are you getting a million emails from AI about our podcast? Oh my God.
No.
You're so, I think I put my email address on.
I need to make myself more
Damn it. I should have.
prominent somewhere.
Every
Or
week I
not.
get someone, it's literally the most, it's like someone just turned on ChatGPT that day and said,
Ugh.
write a thing inviting these people to whatever my dumb program that it doesn't have anything to do with the podcast. They're like, we really enjoyed your episode on insert episode title here. It was so fun when you said insert random quote here.
Oh
Have
my
you ever
God,
thought
that's
about
awful.
scaling your podcast by 5 million listeners a month?
Oh my God.
I think that's a terrible use of AI.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't use AI for spraying and praying, people. Don't spray and pray. Use it to help
Moral of
you
the
get better.
podcast. Yeah.
Well, we didn't smash any glasses, so good for us.
We did not. This was a much more civil conversation than I expected, and we're like pretty much on the same page. So sorry for anyone who was looking for a bloodbath.
Yeah. Yeah, you might still continue not to use it. I'm going to continue to use it every day because as a lean team, it helps a lot within the ecosystem I've built, which I hope is thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
And just for like anybody wondering, most of my posts, a lot of my posts I just write, and that's why there's grammatical mistakes and spelling errors. But sometimes I start with AI and it's always pulling from my work. That's something I do feel strongly about. I don't think you should be pulling from other people's stuff on the internet. And you can set your settings up in most programs to only look within your own ecosystem. So that's a fun one, but it's also tricky if you don't have a ecosystem yet of content or previous work. So just to say, it's not like, oh, I just turned it on one day and it wrote like me and it's perfect. It's like, no, it was 5 years of writing every week and a lot of content in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I also want to firmly state I am highly pro nap. So I hope that people find ways to get more naps and
All the
more
naps.
walks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the naps. Sitting all day at your computer is not good for you. And yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
that. Oh, this was so much fun. How was
Yay!
your cocktail?
It was delicious. I drank it all, and it was quite tasty and refreshing.
Yeah, I'm almost done. This feels like the end of summer. The sun is like, as
Oh
I'm looking at the
no.
sun, I'm like, oh, the sun is kind of setting behind me, and
I
we're
know.
back to school.
Ah.
I
Yeah, but fall, I feel like fall vibes for this podcast will be
I
excellent.
love fall. Ooh,
Me too.
yes. Ooh, I have some good cocktail ideas. But please, everybody who's listening, send us your cocktail recipes. Send us
Yes, please.
your suggestions. We have some good ones coming up from folks who are listening, and I I think I can speak for both of us when I say it's really heartwarming to hear from people because even
Yes.
though we're talking to each other, we are speaking into the void. So if we don't hear that you're enjoying this or appreciating it, or maybe you have an opinion you want to share with us, that's all
Yes,
very
please.
welcome. Yeah,
Hmm.
it means a lot.
Yeah, and if there's anything you're fired up about, like please share. I think part of our goal with this podcast is just to have some like real talk about the coaching industry. So if there's something you want us to touch on, please share it.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be mean, but yeah. Don't yell at us. I'll send my AI
Yes.
to give you a response. If you yell at me, you'll get an AI response.
I was trying to think of how to incorporate AI into that
Yeah, you will get an
dynamic.
AI
I'm glad that you came up.
response blocking you if you need.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
no, because it's as I think, I mean, we've shared this about a few things, but it's like this is all very complicated. I know sometimes with podcasts and social media and like putting content out, people try to be super controversial. And what I always think is so funny is that you and I are like, well, it's very complicated. It's
Yeah,
not
I
one or
know.
the
We're
other.
both like the most nuanced people, which doesn't make for a lot of like knockdown, drag out fights. But
I
I
could
think
smash my
the
drink
issue.
just for the
I don't
I
know
like
if
the
that
sauce. I
counts.
can't do it.
Don't do it. It would cut into your nap time to have to clean up a glass.
True. Very true.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get like pat aggressive opinions with us. Like that's just not really. I think both of us are pretty thoughtful and invested in nuance, which also means like we're open to alternative opinions. And if you have
Yeah.
something that you feel fired up about hearing this episode, I would be interested because I'm still forming my opinion on AI.
I mean, me too. It's always changing. I think the thing is, this is how I really feel. This is the firm. I think that
Ooh,
there's just so much divisive bullshit in the world that keeps people from having conversations. And I know that like a lot of people around me, I know I feel this way. Sometimes it's really hard to share your opinion because of the backlash of the world and how we see people in the media, on social media, how we see people react so like violently. And it makes it hard to have conversations that are nuanced. It makes it hard to be in a space where you aren't yelling your opinion at someone, but you're willing to have your mind changed if they have something really, helpful to say, or you're willing to experiment, you're willing to kind of see their point of view. I personally think the world needs more of that.
yes, I agree. And I think to fit in with the AI conversation we've been having, I do think those types of like they're human conversations fundamentally because no one is all one thing or another. Even if you have a strong opinion, there are nuances in being
Yeah.
human. So I think that's what we need and what we are going to need more of as we inevitably we as a society inevitably incorporate more AI into
Oh my
our
gosh.
world.
Cheers to that.
Here's to that.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Lights
It's like
on
in a
fire.
light beam.
Yeah.
I feel like that's your beam me up Scotty situation.
I'm getting beamed up to my starship now.
I don't think that's this. I haven't watched Star Trek, so I'm just throwing a lot of things.
Seriously? No Star Trek
Seriously.
ever? Never?
No. Okay. So the new one.
So Discovery. Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds? Strange New Worlds, not Brave New World. That's very different. I am watching that with my partner.
Fun.
And it's kind of nice. At first I was like a little thrown by like how calm everyone is.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we're being attacked. Look at that. There are laser beams shaking our cockpit.
Now they're all like injecting the calming drug. The beta blockers are going
right. I'm like, what is happening? Because I'm like, where's the drama? Theater, come on.
No.
But now I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice.
Yeah.
People who like
society
are thoughtful and nuanced and think rationally about things and also understand that like everything is a little bit complicated, but there's like a strong ethical core. So I'm kind of into it.
You should watch the super old ones, like the original ones, because they're like very sexist and all the women are like cinched in all the places. It's hilarious. It's like you actually see the style of the time.
Yeah.
These shows where they're supposed to be advanced people, but like you're like,
but they were fairly progressive.
A womanizer.
They were fairly progressive in some ways for the time, right? Like the first interracial kiss, I think was. Yeah. So, there's only so far everything
there's only so far you can stretch.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
Okay. I'm going to have to get some recommendations from you offline on like where to start with that. Or maybe now. I'm
going to disclose this to everyone. I'm such a nerd. I have all the nerdy things. No. I mean, we'll get into it. We can talk. I think I guess listeners tell us if this is something you'd be interested in, but I was thinking closer to like the holidays. I think we should do a gift guide. We should share things that we love in our world. If you're looking for something like different, and I'll give people my like nerdy board games and all of my tech products that I'm addicted to.
That sounds so fun. Let's do it.
I can't wait to see all your things too. So
amazing. I love that. Okay.
All right. I love you. Have a great week. Thanks everybody for listening.
Yay.